Hey guys, so the world's a little bit different right now, and I wanted to do something fun today. And I think it's really important that we all stay hopeful and find inventive ways to stay connected as a community right now. The world right now is trying to figure out what is going on, and no one really knows what the future is going to look like. I have learned a lot about myself. I found out that the way I've been living my life is called social distancing and quarantine, so that's cool. So today I kind of wanted to share what I've been doing to stay busy with all this extra time on my hands. I've been going around the house and finding projects that I've been wanting to do for a while but have never had the time to do, and now I have the time to do it. If I look back on this quarantine in half a year and I have all these projects that I could have done with the spare time, I'm gonna kick myself in the pants. So yesterday I started on a project that I think has the potential to make some people laugh and smile. So today I want to take you guys along with me as I finish the project because I know it has the potential to make some people smile. You guys saw the title of the video. You already know what it is. It's sitting there on my desk. So here we go. What I've built here is essentially a door chime that plays the Seinfeld tune every time someone walks into my room. Let me show you guys how it works. So here we have the electronics. So for those of you who don't know what Arduino is basically a mini computer of sorts that you can write code for, upload it, and then it will execute the code that you have written. So here we have a SD card and an SD card reader, and that gets read by the Arduino, which then relays our audio over here to our speaker setup every time that this button is pressed. Let's see if I can focus, come on. Yeah, so the button I have here is actually gonna go in the doorway, and then every time that it'll be pressed, it'll reset the Arduino, and then every time you let go, it'll read the Seinfeld audio off the SD card and relay it to our speakers. So after the audio gets sent off of the Arduino, it goes into this little a preamp, I guess. So what this does is magnify the sound coming off the Arduino into our speakers so that it's louder, and we can also control the volume. Now this whole system runs off of two separate power supplies because the voltage I need to power the Arduino is different than the one I need in the preamp. So luckily, almost as if I had this planned out or something, I have both of the power supplies I need right here. So I'm gonna give the Arduino power to start executing our code, and I'm gonna give the preamp power to make our audio louder. So as I explained before, this little button is actually going to be in our doorway, and every time the doors close, it'll be pressed up against the button and nothing happens. And the moment the door opens and lets go of the button, that's gonna happen. How awesome and stupid is that? I love it so much. So the goal for the video today is going to be to take the electronics here and fit them all inside of this speaker so that it's all one contained smaller unit. For those of you who are a little bit confused as to what's going on here still, which is totally understandable, I have wires and cords all over the place. I'm going to draw it out real quick because I think it'll make a little bit more sense on paper. So we have our Arduino, and that is hooked up to the SD card reader here. We are going to have a button, and this button will go in our door frame. And then here we have a preamp, and then here we have our speaker. So what the Arduino is doing is reading the Seinfeld audio off the SD card. Every time the button is let go, it sends the audio signal to our preamp, which makes it louder, and then that is played through our speaker. Alright, so let's get started. I'm going to unhook all of the wires that I was using for testing this, get those out of the way, and we are going to crack into this speaker. First things first, I have to remove the $3.99 from Value Village so no one knows how cheap I actually am. Alright, so once I got the sticker off, I began opening up the actual speaker itself. There was only 4 screws on the back. And once I got it open, I noticed that the speaker was quite a bit larger than I was expecting in the back. It had quite a big magnet on the back of it. As well, the inside of the plastic that the speaker was in had a lot of useless support in it, a lot of wasted plastic on Sony's part, and I was a little worried about being able to fit everything in. So the next step was I had to take a Dremel and start cutting away at the inside of the speaker casing. Now this took actually quite a bit longer than I had first anticipated. However, once I was finally done and I had made quite the mess, I was ready to start fitting components on the inside. I was a little worried that I wasn't going to be able to fit all of it in at one point, but luckily I was able to clear out enough space in the casing that this is going to work. While I was at it, I also extended the wire on the speaker and cut a hole for our power supply. After that, it was just a matter of feeding all the wire through and fitting everything inside of the casing. And just like that, it all started to come together in one little unit. Before I began putting everything back together, I decided to just do one quick test to make sure everything still worked. Luckily, it does. And once I had the back screws back on, it was all put together and closed up, I tested it one more time, and it still works. And I gotta say, it looks pretty darn good, just like that. It's all in one little confined unit. After that, the last and final step was to begin wiring the button to the door frame. I just used a bit of hot glue in the corner and I ran a longer wire to the button and I began placing it in the door frame running down behind the dresser where the unit and the speaker would sit.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out places.
And folks, it all comes down to this. Fingers crossed, hope it works. And look at that, it does. I was so excited at this point. This had been 2 days of trying to get this thing to work, and finally it all comes together in a matter of minutes. And I'm actually very pleased with how well this works. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me make this absolutely absurd idea come to life. I hope you giggled a little bit. If anybody wants to try to build this for themselves, I will link all the parts I used in the description down below. And I hope everybody is doing okay. Stay home, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.